single dad was mocked for buying an expired cake. Then the bakery owner started crying. The cake was sitting behind the glass like it had been waiting for the wrong person. White frosting, pink flowers, a tiny sugar crown on top. Across the box, someone had placed a small red sticker, "Expired today." Michael Carter stood in front of it with his daughter's school backpack hanging from one shoulder and $7.43 in his hand. Behind the counter, the bakery owner looked him up and down. Then he smiled in the cruel way people smile when they know everyone else is listening. "Sir," he said, tapping the glass, "that cake is not for people who can't afford birthdays." The two women near the coffee machine turned. A teenage boy near the door started recording. Michael did not move. He only looked at the cake, then at the small paper crown in his pocket, the one his daughter had made for herself that morning, and he said quietly, "It's my little girl's birthday." The owner laughed. "Then maybe next year," he said, "try being a better father." The whole bakery went silent, and from the back room, an old woman dropped a metal tray. She came out slowly, staring at Michael as if she had seen a ghost. Then her eyes filled with tears, and she whispered, "No, not him. You don't speak to him like that." Michael Carter had not planned to enter Rose and Rye Bakery that afternoon. He had walked past it 3 times already. Each time he stopped outside the window, looked at the cakes, checked the coins in his palm, and kept walking. The bakery was bright, warm, and expensive in the way places become when they stop smelling like bread and start smelling like status. Gold letters on the window, handwritten menus, little cakes that cost more than dinner. Michael used to know places like this from the other side of the counter. Years ago, he had owned a small food truck called Carter's Kitchen. Nothing fancy, just soup, sandwiches, coffee, and hot bread in paper bags. But people knew him. Construction workers knew him. Nurses on night shift knew him. Parents who had no money until Friday knew him. If someone came hungry and short $1, Michael still fed them. He never called it charity. He called it doing business with a soul. Then the flood came. Not a normal storm, not a few streets underwater. The kind of flood people remembered by year, not by date. 3 days of rain, sirens all night, cars floating where roads used to be. Michael's food truck had been parked near the school gym when the emergency shelter opened. He could have driven it to higher ground. He could have saved the truck. Instead, he opened the back door, lit every burner, and started cooking. Soup first, then rice, then bread, then whatever frozen food he had left before the power died. For 2 nights, Carter's Kitchen fed families wrapped in wet blankets, children who had lost shoes, old men who kept asking if anyone had seen their dogs, mothers who smiled too hard so their children would not be scared. By the 3rd morning, Michael had no stock left. By the 4th, the truck engine was ruined. By the end of the month, the insurance company found a reason not to pay. By the end of the year, Carter's Kitchen was gone. And now, 3 years later, Michael was standing outside a bakery with $7.43, trying to buy a birthday cake for his daughter. Her name was Ella. She was turning 7. She had not asked for much. That was the part that hurt him most. No party, no balloons, no expensive gift. That morning, she had climbed onto the kitchen chair, drawn a small paper crown with purple crayon, cut it out carefully, and held it up with both hands. "Daddy," she had said, "tonight can we just have one cake?" Michael had smiled like the question did not break him. "Of course, Princess." "Not a big one," she said quickly, because she was already learning how to protect him from the cost of loving her. "Even a small one is okay." He promised, and all day that promise followed him. Through the morning shift at the warehouse, through lunch he did not eat, through the text from the landlord reminding him rent was late, through the bus ride home where he counted his money again and again as if the coins might become more if he looked at them long enough. $7.43. That was what he had after buying rice, 2 eggs, and candles from the discount store. The bakery should have been impossible, but then he saw the sticker. Expired today. It was not rotten, not spoiled, just unsold, a display cake from the morning batch. In a few hours, they would throw it away. Michael stood outside the window staring at that cake until the shame in his chest grew heavier than the cold air. Then he pushed open the door. A bell rang above him. The smell hit first. Butter, sugar, coffee, fresh bread. For 1 second it felt